This is a live Channels television event.
Well, thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. The Honorable Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, my sisters, and my brother, the Minister of State Finance, Commissioners of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Chiefs of Staff, Secretaries of, to the state governments, and other representatives of state governments who are here today. We have so many of our DGs from the Ministry of Finance, Budget, SEC, PITAD, so many others. I can't see you all. You're all here today. We have very senior stakeholders in the housing sector. I see Architect Ezekiel and so many others, members of the international community. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm really excited at the turnout that we've had today. The country director of the African Development Bank is also here, JICA, World Bank. Thank you all for coming. It's really with great pleasure that I welcome you all today to this launch of the 10,000 mortgages scheme. And I'd like to thank the Federal Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. It all started with my sister, Mrs. Ama Pepo, has continued with my sister, Mrs. Seyakenyi, and her staff and her team for the support and the collaboration that we've had to make today possible. The states, the stakeholders, all the people I've mentioned before have all been active participants in this. And I want to also thank the team of the NMRC, Mr. Sonny Ayere, Dr. Chia Boji, the team from Finance, for working so hard to make today a reality. Thank you so much. Some of the people who are going to be the prime actors today are also here. The primary mortgage banks or lending institutions. I know their representatives are here and they're the stars of the show. Would you care to stand up for a minute so we can see you? Anybody from a primary mortgage? There you are. Oh, wow, you came in your large numbers. I wanted to specially recognize you because without you, we can't make this happen. The CEO, MD of the Federal Mortgage Bank is here with us somewhere. Please, he's also very, very special to this. MD of Nexim Bank is here. All those who have been supporting us. I want to recognize you. Developers. How many developers do we have with us today? Please stand up. If you're a developer and you have housing. Oh, wow. Quite a number of you stood up. Thank you so much for coming. Now, all of us will recall that on the 16th of January of this year, His Excellency, Mr. President, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, launched the Nigerian Mortgage Refinance Company to address a major concern that he saw in the access to finance, to housing finance in this country, and to the dream of enabling our young people in particular, but Nigerians who would like access to housing at affordable prices to have a hope of doing so. And during the launch of the Nigerian Mortgage Refinance Company, Mr. President made the pledge that we would try to make this dream operational by the end of the second quarter of the year, so that Nigerians would begin to be able to apply for mortgages in larger numbers. Well, we are here to implement his vision and his dream. The launch today that we are doing is really the actualization, as we say, of Mr. President's promise that we would try to move on the road to affordable housing finance for Nigerians. So today we are kicking off the pre-qualification of people for the first initial 10,000 mortgages to be provided by lenders, most of whom are present here with us. They will now be able to process and provide many more mortgages because of the existence of the Nigerian Mortgage Refinance Corporation. As you know, the NMRC, as we call it, is set up as a refinancing vehicle to provide mortgage lending, with access to more liquidity and long-term funds. And here I want to stop and say that this dream of the NMRC could also not have been realized without the strong support of the Central Bank of Nigeria that has worked long and hard to make this happen. I don't know if any representative of the Central Bank is here. They are not yet here. They are strong partners in this. So the NMRC's mission is to provide more liquidity for longer-term funding for the housing sector. Since the ability of banks to deliver mortgage services is limited by the fact that 80% of all bank deposits are for 30 days only, which does not make for great strength or sustainability in providing housing resources for the housing sector, the NMRC is here to ensure greater access for financing of tenures from 15 to 20 years. So instead of people just being able to buy housing and have to pay up in 12 months, in 36 months, in 24 months. In fact, when people get a mortgage that they can pay in 36 months, they are regarded as very lucky. We are changing that whole thing now. Now for 10 years, for 15 years, for 20 years, people will be able to pay over their lifetime. Pre-qualifying people for a mortgage is a critical first step to this home ownership. Once you're pre-qualified for a mortgage by a lender, you're literally better armed and emboldened to look for a home to buy within the limits of the mortgage provided. With the 10,000 mortgage scheme, Nigerians can now begin to realize their dream of owning a home and look forward to improved socio-economic outcomes. We've tried to aim this scheme primarily at the first-time home buyer who is in the market to purchase a home costing between 2 million to 20 million naira. So we try to keep it low to address our first-time buyer and, above all, our young people. There will be a step-by-step presentation as to how the scheme works. But essentially, what we've done is develop an online portal, specially for this scheme, www.housingfinance.gov.ng. And you need to access this online portal, just like the government developed for the UWIN scheme, and people were able to go on to file applications. We've done the same and found it worked very well and made it a level playing field for all. You'll be asked to go through a checklist or eligibility requirements when you access this portal, and for verification to make sure that you've been paying your taxes, you earn a regular income, you're a first-time home buyer, etc. We're going to take first-time home buyers in the beginning of this scheme in order to make sure that, as I said, young people in particular are able to realize their dreams. Once you've ascertained that you do meet the eligibility requirements when you log on, you'll be led to complete a very simple form. I've gone through the form myself and the Minister of Housing to make sure it's not too complicated. It just requests your personal details, those of your employer, state of origin, state of residence, salary, you know, the normal things you fill out when you have a form.